This interview is for information only and should not be considered as investment advice or a recommendation to buy shares in the company featured. Welcome to this Stock Box interview.
Ondo InsurTech has partnered with Northumbrian Water to trial the LeakBot technology aimed at reducing water waste in the northeast of England. Well, joining us today is CEO Craig Foster. Hi, Craig. How are you?
Hi, Mark. I'm good. How are you?
Very good, thank you. Good to be catching up, of course, the first time in the new year. As we'll catch up on a few things. But first of all, this news about Northumbrian Water here. So I understand this follows the success by other companies doing similar things, namely Portsmouth Water and Southern Water. But I mean, why is this sort of so important in the UK, the sort of water efficiency?
Mm-hmm. Well, but you might not think it, Mark, given the amount of rain. I don't know where folks live, but where I am in Derbyshire, it absolutely hammered it down last night. And it's difficult to imagine sometimes that the UK has anything approaching a water shortage problem. But water efficiency is becoming an increasingly critical issue in the UK. It's for a few different reasons. There's rising demand as population grows. Climate change is having a big impact. And that's creating regulatory pressure to push for smarter solutions to use our water resources better. So we think at LeakBot we can have have an impact there. So we've been experimenting with a couple of water companies. We've done some trials with Portsmouth Water, with Southern Water. We've proven with Portsmouth Water we could reduce leakage by 60%. We did a trial with Southern Water, and on the back of their results, they figured out that they could save 9,200 megalitres of water a year. So that's enough to fill 3,600 Olympic-sized swimming pools if they were to roll that out across the whole of the region. So we could make a real material impact here. But so far, these pilots have been fairly small scale as we kind of pave the way to doing something bigger. So the announcement today was with Northumbrian Water. They've seen those results and they want to experiment with our solution.
And as you say, water companies are in the news quite a bit recently for a number of different issues, really. So I think it's only going to become more apparent that they've got to do things to reduce sort of water leakage, particularly given concerns around climate change and just being more efficient, really, with our resources effectively. So just tell us a little bit about this trial here. So how long is it going to go on for? What is it they're testing for? And when potentially might they look to sort of extend it or roll it out effectively?
So the pilot's already started, and it's very similar to the Southern and Portsmouth trial, where they're trying to measure themselves what kind of water efficiency saving can our solution deliver. So it's in that broader context. So there's a well-quoted stat in the UK that 3 billion litres of water are getting lost every single day due to leaks somewhere on the UK infrastructure. But a huge amount of that is actually in customers' homes. And the biggest culprit, Mark, is, when you see water just running down the back of a toilet, it doesn't look particularly dramatic, but they're on average wasting 200 litres per day. Sometimes as much as 400 litres per day when it starts to run a bit quicker. So that's almost half of everything that we fix, even when we're doing jobs for insurance companies. So obviously our sensor detects those leaks, then we roll a plumber into the home, and so we fix a huge amount of those leaky toilets, and they're the leaks that the water companies are really interested in. So what we're doing with Northumbrian Water again is proving that the solution detects those leaks very well, and then we can go in and fix them quite easily. So it's a highly scalable and measurable solution to this very significant problem. And it's actually very easy for us to demonstrate those results because it's the most common thing that we find in the home.
Okay, so they'll test them effectively in the same way that your insurance clients are testing effectively by giving the product to the customer, assessing if there's a leak, and then effectively asking the customer to perhaps look where that leak is, or they look to send someone round to investigate. Do you know how it'll work?
Yeah, that's exactly it. Yes. Okay. We offer for free. They've already started offering the devices in the region in the north of England. the goal is, can they generate sufficient data that they could roll this out across their customer base? I mean, that's our hope. I think it's a bit a new market for us. Obviously, our focus has been home insurers, but it'll be interesting to see if any of these water companies do take the step forward to do this at some scale.
And I think you mentioned on a recent presentation that water companies, tend to be they're a bit slower to react. I mean, of course, working with any large corporation is always, you have to get through lots of hurdles, as working with some of the big US insurers. But the water companies perhaps acting a little bit slower. But potentially, if the rollout goes ahead here with this water company, that's 2.7 million customers that they can roll that out to. Is it too early to be talking about how the business case, because we can understand how the business case works with the insurance companies, that's very clear. Have you thought about that? Can you communicate how that could look if water companies were to indeed do a full rollout?
Yeah, I mean, we've without going, disclosing too much. I mean, we're in advanced conversations on how those models would work if we do something at a bigger scale. And so, to a large degree, it doesn't look that dissimilar to our insurance model, where we offer this as a fully kind of integrated value proposition: the hardware, the delivery into the customer's home, and the repair service. And the water companies would pay us on a recurring basis to do that. Obviously, the business case for them on their side, why they're doing it, is different to the insurers. But ultimately, from our point of view, it looks very similar. It's just a different thing that we would report on, because what the water companies are really interested in is how many of those toilets are we fixing. And actually, that's an easier thing to measure quickly, because it is the most common thing that we find and fix in the home.
Sure. Yeah, those modern push button toilets are notorious for leaking there. Yeah. So, I mean, just finishing off on here before we talk about what's to come down the pipe, have you any idea when things might look to close or develop significantly with the water companies?
No, I definitely wouldn't want to overpromise on that. So I don't know. We'll see. I mean, the pilots are relatively quick to execute because we can deliver it quite quickly. I know a lot of water companies are working on their current plans and have got conversations ongoing with the regulator about how to drive water efficiency. So we'll see how it pans out.
Okay, so as we said before, I think the water companies are it's a nice additional bonus, isn't it, to the core of Ondo, which is, of course, the insurance companies. So before Christmas, I know we had quite a flurry of updates from contract wins, particularly in the United States, there, which is where you really wanted to sort of start making waves. So how are things going after that Christmas break with discussions with existing insurance companies that are using and perhaps looking to expand the rollout, but also potential new pipeline customers?
Yeah, so we've been busy. I guess is the easiest solution. So we didn't have much of a break over Christmas. So obviously we announced that flurry of announcements before Christmas. So I guess most notably the fact that Nationwide were expanding, one of the largest insurers in the United States, were expanding across 16 states. And quite quickly after that, we announced most of our existing US partners basically announced to also follow alongside Nationwide into states where they have had an overlap with their own customer base. So that's kept us busy. There was a load of activity, devices getting distributed all the way through the Christmas period. So Nationwide are now expanded into those 16 states. We've expanded our network operations. We've been hiring lots of plumbers. And what's been really great is it's really seeing that massive acceleration in the growth rate of the deployments of devices, how well the team has coped and how well the level of customer service and the customer satisfaction scores have held up. As we've added lots of new plumbers who are doing this for the first time, the customer feedback and the results have been fantastic. So our insurance partners are happy across the board in the US, and the homeowners are too. So we've managed with that kind of scaling, we've managed to pull that off so far, which is I'm really proud of the team for that.
Okay, good. And the manufacturing then of the units with the upscaling of the factory there, that's all going okay? Yeah,
that's all going okay. Yeah, and some more interesting things that we'll unveil soon about some interesting technology developments within the factory. So I can't say too much about it at the moment, but maybe you can come along, Mark, and we'll show you some interesting stuff on the factory line quite soon.
That would be great. I would love to do a little site visit to the
let's
production line.
Do that. I'll have something interesting to show you quite soon.
Oh, okay. Thank you for dropping that. So we can expect sort of further news on the manufacturing, but also, of course, on other contract wins effectively.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So the pipeline is really interesting in the US. So as we've said before, we've been targeting smaller insurers that are present in the states where we've now expanded into, but we're also targeting top 10, top 20 insurers. So yeah, very excited about that pipeline. Looking forward to revealing some of the details in the not too distant future.
Good. And at some point, would you be able to sort of publish, I don't know what you can talk about now, but in terms of just some of the metrics, you say you hired a lot of plumbers, so it'd be nice to get a snapshot, I think, of plumbers who are sort of on the book, so to speak, addressable households, of course, we've talked about, a bit of an update on units in situ, units operating, etc., and of course the all important, sort of revenue streams, that kind of thing.
Yeah, well, let me take that away. It'd be good to give a business update.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much, Craig Foster, the CEO of Ondo InsurTech, for your time as always.
Thanks, Mark. Good to see you.
If you enjoyed this interview, then give us a thumbs up, a like or a retweet. Subscribe to us on YouTube or follow us on Twitter and hit that notification bell to be the first to know when we release new content. There's loads of great content on our website too, across all our programs at stockboxmedia.com. Thank you for watching.